All right, so we're converting this UK 110 MagDrill into a US 120 volt. Okay, so I mistakenly got this one. Um, I guess because it ended up being the lowest price or something, and then it was actually being shipped over from Europe. And I thought because it was 110, it was just for some reason being sold over there as like the US version. But it's a UK 110, so it came with this funky plug, which we don't have here in the States. It's got a very large. The large one is the ground here, and then it's got a what we would call a hot and a neutral, and those are wired up with a little bit different colors than we use. We use like black and white, and they use this kind of brownish red. It looks kind of brown, and this blue color, and then this one that is green and white. You can see there, that one is the ground. Okay, and when I popped this guy open, I just looked at which ones they were. Okay, and so the big one to pay attention to is the ground, obviously. I think one other way to tell is that in the UK and other places overseas, outside of the US, these yellow plugs, they kind of standardized on the yellow plugs too. I guess you can see it at a distance that this is a 110. If it was blue, that might indicate that it is a 230 volt single phase, which is the standard for most of the world, or a lot of the world that I deal with. And so I got these bunch of these connectors here. They come in pairs. Got these off Amazon. It was like $20 or something for 6 of each or something like that, and or for 10. I forget what it was, but they're pretty cheap. You can actually, it's good to keep these around because you could use these to either extend or to repair cords or extension cords that get broken or frayed. You could cut them and then make an actual, removable connection, just wiring it back in a standard way. Now in the US, in more modern plugs, you'll see that in more modern outlets rather, you'll see that one prong is bigger than the other. I had to look this up because I'm not an electrician, but this is what we call neutral. The neutral is bigger than the what we would call the hot wire or the live wire, which is black. So usually in our wiring in the US, this will be a black wire, this will be a white wire, this would be ground as like a green wire, or sometimes in hard wiring it's a bare wire, just a bare copper solid. So yeah, keep that in mind. I think this is only larger for, I think it's like polarized devices that are that don't have a ground or something like that, to make sure that the polarized side gets in the right, because otherwise you could just plug this thing. You could flip it around. If you only had two plugs and these were the same size, you could just flip it around. And a lot of old devices are like that. Old lamps and just a lot of transformers are like that. The little wall warts, like even on the back of this smoke alarm here. See how these are the same size, these prongs? So you could flip it either way and it's going to work. And these are newer GFCI outlets here. And you can see that, don't pay attention to this one on the side here, but you can see how this vertical part next to my finger is taller than this one over here. Okay. Now this is a special type of outlet, and not really special, but this means it's a 20 amp outlet, up to 20 amps, because it'll take a plug that goes this way and horizontal. So that's a little aside. I won't plug this in because it's going to beep, but yeah, don't worry about that. These have this thing on the side. it's when you just use it top and bottom there, it can also handle a 15 amp load. So this plug that we got here, it does not have that polarized end to it. Let's see if I can zoom back. There we go. All right, so we wired this up. Confirmed that in the fine print on here that this is a 110. The model number, unfortunately, the only thing that looks like it says 110 is this 11 UK, but this model number here does not show up anywhere online. So it does say there are multiple versions here. There's a UK 220 version, and I guess that's some kind of serial number. There's a UK 110 version, which comes with this yellow plug. There's a US and the EU, and of course, made in China. So I had to look this up, and what I did is I looked up something for like converting a US 110 or 120 or something into a UK 110, and I was able to find some videos of somebody doing the opposite. They had bought an American DeWalt grinder, and they wanted to hook it up to one of these. So, and they had even a bigger challenge because theirs did not have the ground. It was one of those older style plugs that doesn't have a ground. Generally, anything in the US that's made to be used outside or might encounter water will have this third leg here, this guy, for ground. And this is kind of like this one. Well, it is this one. So certain things that are meant to stay inside where it's never going to get wet tend to have those just the two prongs. So things like the smoke detector, some old like clocks and things like that. But outdoor extension cords, lightweight extension cords, can have two. Anything that's heavy duty that you might use outside for some reason would typically have three. These three prongs like this. All right, so let's close this up. Just a few screws. It's pretty easy to do, and we'll plug it in and see if it catches fire. Okay, so one more thing that I forgot to mention, I had opened this up just to check it out again, was that the guy online said that the blue wire here is considered the equivalent of our neutral, and this brownish one would be the hot. Okay, and so I made sure that if it's plugged into a standard socket, that this one here, if this was US wiring, we'd have the green, we'd have white, and we'd have black. Oops, sorry. We'd have green, we'd have white, and we'd have black here. All right, so I just kind of did the matching of that, and you can also see that there's like a W here. There's a W. It's very faint to see. Embedded in the white plastic, there's a W, and that's next to where the white lead would have gone. So I don't think it matters for this. It would probably work either way because this is alternating current, and I don't think this is polarized, and it is grounded. So let's try it out. All right, moment of truth. All right, no smoke. Nice, it's working. The magnet has engaged the table. Oh, wow, that's really strong. Disengage. Nice. Engage. You can hear it humming, or I can hear it humming. Wow. It's a little bit loud, but yeah, that's great. It's working. I'm going to check for smells, do the smell check. Yep. First time ever doing that. All right. Well, I'm glad. I'll leave it unplugged, but you know, I ran all this wiring myself. I ran a 3-phase converter, ran my own 220, you know, installed buck converters, all that kind of stuff. But this is my first time messing with converting this. My biggest worry was that this was actually a 220 with some kind of weird, that they accidentally stuck a 110 on here. Because I didn't hear much about a UK or Euro 110 because it's so common that it's 230 over there. So I thought I was going to have to run it off of my, you know, using the 220 single phase kind of line like a welder plug. But yeah, this color coding and looking up the part number on this guy, you know, it's all made in China. So you look up the part number and it tells you on AliExpress, and then there's also some other codes that look up to the standards to say this is a 110 plug. So that was new to me. And, you know, I made a mistake in buying this because I meant to buy the US version. But hey, looks like it's going to work. I'm sure the internals are all the same. Pretty sure. It draws the same amperage, or just about. You know, this was meant to work on, I think, 50 hertz. It's 110 50 hertz, and here we have 110 or 120 60 hertz. But it's within the range of, you know, fluctuation, depending if you were at a job site. You know, these voltages fluctuate. And this shouldn't be too sensitive for it. All right. Good luck, everyone. Be safe.